My name is Jonathan Wright. I'm here at Supercompute with AlmaLinux. We are a distribution in the Red Hat family of Linux, and we're doing kind of what CentOS used to do as a downstream, kind of a clone of Red Hat, doing a little bit on top of that. We just released 9.7 and we're getting ready to release 10.1 and doing some exciting things like adding butterfs support and bringing some drivers back into the mix and all kinds of exciting things like that. It's all backed by a nonprofit foundation, and we've got users all over the world, from CERN to Chevron, and a website running out of your basement and everything in between.
So what does the CERN do with your Linux?
They run it. The particle accelerator at CERN runs AlmaLinux.
The huge accelerator?
Yeah, the Large Hadron Collider.
If it wasn't for Alma, it wouldn't work?
I'm sure they would use somebody else, but you know.
So what is the optimal reason you're here at the Supercomputing?
So it's really just to talk to users. We want to talk to different people, learn about how they're using AlmaLinux, because since it's all free and open source, there's no commercial aspect to it. We don't know who our users are until they tell us. So we meet all kinds of cool people at events like this and spread the word about what we're doing.
People all over the world? All
over the world. Yep, we go to conferences all over the place, and this event, there's people from every corner of the earth.
What are you showing here?
So what we've got right here, it's just an Ampere machine with some ARM CPUs in it. It's running AlmaLinux 10.1, showing off some of our new things like butterfs. But really, it's just cool hardware from one of our friends and sponsors over at Ampere, showing off the cool stuff they're doing.
Butter file system?
Yeah, Btrfs, butterfs.
Is it like butter? What's the reason to have it?
So it competes a lot with ZFS. It's got a lot of features like ZFS, such as inline compression and checksumming and things like that. And it's kind of an up-and-coming thing. It's been the default in Fedora for a good while, and Red Hat added it to the OS back in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, and then they subsequently pulled it out. But a bunch of people fell in love with it through Fedora. Some large players like Meta and Facebook, for example, they're running butterfs on millions and millions of systems. They really like it. And they're actually the ones that stepped up to contribute that into AlmaLinux. So we ran it through our technical steering committee and ultimately approved it and have added it to AlmaLinux 10.1, even though it doesn't exist in Red Hat.
And can you say some more about what's special? What do you see here on the? What is it showing after June 2023?
Yeah, so what you're looking at here is basically a before and after, kind of how the Red Hat and CentOS ecosystem look. Back prior to 2023, everything kind of started in Fedora, flowed down to Red Hat, and then afterwards ultimately became CentOS. Things shifted, and now everything still starts in Fedora. It's kind of the granddaddy of it all. Then it flows into CentOS Stream. CentOS Stream tracks the next upcoming release of Red Hat, whatever the minor point release of Red Hat will be. So, we just released 9.7, 10.1's coming. So CentOS Stream 9 and 10 are tracking what will become 9.8 and 10.2 respectively. And then from there, things flow down into Red Hat and AlmaLinux. So that's kind of just showing the shift of CentOS going from a downstream to an upstream back about 5 years ago. And that's what ultimately led to the creation of AlmaLinux.
And there's 40 sponsors. What kind of sponsors do you have?
So we've got everybody from AWS and Azure, CERN is a sponsor, AMD is a sponsor, and lots of folks.
Elon Musk? No, I'm joking. Okay.
No Elon Musk.
So a whole bunch of people. And could you say just a little bit more to understand where did it come from? Who got the idea to do Alma? And really, what's the purpose?
Yeah, so most of us are a group of former CentOS users, and when the changes at CentOS happened, we wanted what was CentOS model to kind of continue. So we got together, we created AlmaLinux. It was initially formed by a company called CloudLinux. They created and founded AlmaLinux, and then subsequently handed that out and formed it into a nonprofit foundation. They stepped back from the project. We held community elections and elected a board of directors, and now the community and the board of directors elected by the community are running the foundation, making the decisions. And CloudLinux kind of stepped back fully from control of the project. They still sponsor both monetarily and in engineering resources and things like that. But handing over that control into a nonprofit foundation is that's how we are fixing what we viewed as an issue with CentOS to begin with, what basically allowed it to be acquired by Red Hat and ultimately discontinued in the former sense, as CentOS Linux. By having a nonprofit foundation, it protects us in a legal sense against that from being able to happen.
And when you showed the Ampere, is it run extremely smoothly on there?
Is it what?
It runs smoothly on the ARM servers?
Oh yeah, I mean, the cool thing about ARM is how power efficient it is. So this machine right now, it's running benchmarks going up to 100% CPU and back down, and you can't even hear it running. You know, that's the beauty of it. You walk by these booths that have these servers and they're loud and noisy. So this machine is uniquely good to bring to a conference because it's not noisy. You can't hear it, but it's ramping up to max CPU load, kind of up and down. That's a live graph. And
you don't need to pay too much for the electricity bill.
That's right, yeah, and it's still pumping out a good bit of work.
And there's a whole bunch of new ARM server chips that are high performance that are coming out.
There are, yeah. Ampere is behind a bunch of them. NVIDIA's doing a bunch. There's a ton of stuff coming to the market.
All right. So it's fun discussing with people here, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I like coming to events and talking to all the people. It's a really cool thing to do to hear from the users and what they're doing.
You want to talk about your colleagues?
Sure, yeah. So this is Benny. Benny is actually the chair of the board that I was telling you about. So she kind of oversees a whole bunch of what's going on and leads our marketing SIG and a few other things within AlmaLinux.
What's the next event?
Let's see.
AlmaLinux Day Tokyo?
Yeah, AlmaLinux Day Tokyo is coming up in Japan. End of January. End of January. Yeah, we don't have exact dates on that yet. We will be at FOSDEM CentOS Connect. That will be in Brussels in end of January, beginning of February. We've got CloudFest coming up in Rust, Germany, or Roost, Germany, as I was corrected last year on that pronunciation. We'll be there in March. Let's see. Also
and do
in
people
March,
hang out on the Discord and the IRC or something?
Yeah. So we've got a Mattermost channel, chat.almalinux.org. That's bridged to IRC, Discord, Matrix. I think that's all. We've got an active community forum at forums.almalinux.org and active mailing lists as well at lists.almalinux.org.
Don't get fooled by fake HDMI products. Only source authentic HDMI products from licensed HDMI adopters and authorized manufacturers and
resellers to ensure compliance. Counterfeit or unlicensed products can cause poor performance.
Certified HDMI products undergo official testing for safety and spec compliance.
Avoid brand damage, warranty issues, and customer dissatisfaction from unlicensed products.
long-term cost savings come from reliable, genuine HDMI solutions.
Unlicensed products may lack support and pose safety risks.
Use certified HDMI cables with official HDMI certification labels.
Report suspected counterfeit products at hdmi.org/resource/infringe.
Thanks to our global partners for helping keep the HDMI brand real and ensuring consumers get the experience they deserve.